Hi, it's Kaylee Johann, and I read the book The Shelter of Each Other Rebuilding Our Families by Mary Pipher, PhD. It was last issued November 25th, 2008. And it was a really good book. It's like Professor Albee wrote in the syllabus: if we do not read, we limit our lives to tiny corners of the world from which we come, etc., etc. She said a little bit more than that, but that was the most important part. I promise, Professor, I'm not saying that, so I butter you up or anything. This book has taught me so much that I didn't think I needed to know. It's like knowledge that I needed but never crossed my mind. Like this communication class, I didn't understand how much of an impact this communication class had on my life, but now that I've taken it, it's actually very insightful. I originally read this book to have a better relationship with my mom and my sisters, but after reading it, it actually helped with my own little family, which is my daughter. So I would actually recommend this to moms and dads, but to everyone who has a family, so everyone. It really is a game changer. The category of this book is family, but I would have put it under parenting. The book itself explains how in today's society, family is seen as the source of all your problems, depression, conflict, anxiety, etc. But in fact, family is the solution. What the problem is external forces, like, for example, the media, advertisement, the internet, therapy, and peers of your children. This is because in today's society where there are no limitations to what kids are exposed to, for example, violence, sex, drugs, alcohol, and everything is on the internet nowadays, everything's on the news, nothing's held back like it was back in the day. Which it creates hostility and kids growing up too fast because they think that they are more like adults because they know all these things like violence and everything else that I listed. America today strikes on capitalism and not togetherness also, which makes it more cutthroat, which makes it seem like, whatever, kids can do whatever they want, I don't care, I'm looking out for myself. Advertisement makes kids think all their problems will go away if they buy things, which can make things more self-absorbed, so they become more me, I need this, I want this, I should get this, not really, oh, maybe I should think about my family, or maybe I should think about their feelings, or put myself in other people's shoes. Therapists also go off the ideals and practices from a long time ago, when we are, as a society, has progressed with newer problems. So we don't have the same problems like back then, because back then depression was seen as bad, sex was seen as bad, violence was seen as bad. There wasn't really any of it back then, but now that there are, we're still going off of the same ideals for therapy to help people cope, which obviously is not the same anymore. Because of this, kids are taught that family was a problem. It's your family that created these problems. Your family made you feel depressed. Your family was too dependent. You're too dependent. Your family was too hostile, so that means you're hostile, or you have anger issues because they gave you anger issues. Which creates so much, why should I respect my parents? They're giving me all these issues, all things like that. Like, I should be mad at them, or I shouldn't like them because they're giving me all these problems. It creates a hostile effect to your family. And you shouldn't care about your parents, and if you did, then you would be reduced. You'd be ridiculed by your peers because of the impact of therapy. Everyone thinks that families are bad, so your peers think that people are bad, and then you'll get ridiculed for it, which no one wants to feel excluded from a group. So everyone pretended like they hated their family, and that created a I want to say a wall between parents and kids. And I could talk about this book for hours, honestly, but since I'm only supposed to do it for 5 minutes and I'm already gone over, I guess I'll say that this has impacted my communication skills and relationships by showing me that my family is a very important aspect to my life. And they are good for my support system. They're not bad. Like, I shouldn't think of them as like in a negative way. I should be embracing them into my support system. Also, the author showed me that I don't hate my family like I thought I did. I thought, like, oh my gosh, they gave me all these issues, but in fact, they didn't. These issues came from the external forces, not from my family. I was just trying to find things that are wrong with my family so that I can fit in with the other groups of people who say, oh my god, I hate my family because they did this, this, and this, when in fact they're just trying to do everything they can to help you and make you feel happy. And that I should spend as much time with my family as much as possible because they are such a good support system. Like, if I need to talk to someone, I should talk to them about it. So that basically is everything in the book, but it also talks about more in the parenting section, more about spending time. So I would recommend this book to anyone who needs help with parenting, or even if you don't need help, it's just good for information. It's just good info to know.